Hi, my name is Sky, and this is my idea for a TV show based off of my story, A Gang of Daggers. Now, for those not familiar with Gang of Daggers, the short of it is a group of high school students discover a magical portal to another world. And on Earth, they're, considered the nerds, social outcasts, get picked on. They go to this other world, and they're considered men, and they can drink, chase women, and kill people, and get away with it. In fact, violence there is encouraged, it's expected, because, in order to survive. They decide to form a mercenary group with swords and shields and learn a little bit of magic to communicate with each other and heal their wounds, and basically to kind of like force their will on people to, they can be talking to somebody and convince them to do something, kind of thing. And they end up gaining wealth, land, and power as a result. Now, what I wanted to do for a TV show, if this is possible, and I hope somebody would be interested, maybe approach me, is use an American high school, such as like New York High School of the Arts or anywhere, and approach them for this TV show. Here's the gimmick for it. The fights would be real, in a sense. And what that means is that if two people, fought each other, their actual skills with weapons would determine who would win. And so that way the outcome is not known. There is a very real sense that, there could be a conflict and somebody, even the main characters could die. Now, there's different ways to approach that. And then in the long term, also, I think that anybody interested in this program, especially people like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and other type programs like Robin Hood is real big now. I think they really dig this sword fighting action. The end product would be a DVD that people could take home, and with digital cameras they could watch anything, but that's beyond the point. Like the setting would be a high school in New York. They would have a studio, a dojo that they would train in, and then a lot of interior places that they would like when they do travel to the other world. A lot of things that a lot of times they're just going to be hanging around in bars, drinking and chasing women. So you'd have internal shots. When you did on set look, shots, that could be anywhere. You could use someplace in the United States. You could go up in Canada, go down to like New Zealand, Australia, where they filmed Hercules and Xena. Try the spots like there, or really go to Europe and use the castles and walled cities there as backdrops. But that's kind of like, down the way. So that's, when you want a lot of, characters, a lot of actors involved. To keep the, production costs, down, majority of the actors would be the high school kids. And the way I would arrange that is, like, I'd first, do called Year Zero. Year Zero is like, just get the guys together, or get a bunch of kids together, and practice with them, see what's going on. In particular, just really go for the freshmen, and say, okay, we're gonna try this thing. Get them together and divide them into about 4 groups. One group would be the stars, the guys who can act, the guys who have physical prowess, and those would be the guys who are they're gonna be the stars. You'd have another group the people who weren't into the fighting, or they couldn't do the fighting, and they weren't that interested in that part of the show. They would be part of the Earth crew, the Earth cast. Then the other world is which I call Adrena. You would have all the actors who weren't pretty, who not really the overweight ones, but the actors like facial scars, deformities, missing teeth, just people who they don't look like they'd be good actors, but I want to use them anyways, because really the purpose of the show would be, or one of the purposes of the show would be to train these kids to be actors. You know, just show them the ropes, give them this experience, let them do whatever they wanted to do. And then you have like the fourth team of that group would be the kill team. So you know, people that couldn't act but wanted to be involved in, they'd be kind of like the stunt doubles, or not the stunt doubles, but like the stunt team. And that's why I call them the kill team. They're basically people that they just run around and oh, they get killed kind of thing. Now, like I mentioned before, it's as far as the acting would be as far as the kids would want to go. Whatever sort of storylines they would want to embrace and try out, they could do that. If a female character wanted to say like, well, I want to try a rape story. My character is raped, or at least attempted to rape. And just explore that, see how that would pan out. Or you have one of the male characters say like, well, I want to try this. I want to have this sort of storyline where I have to go kill somebody on Earth, and this is the result. And the thing is, the point of the show is not to glorify or elevate gang-like behavior or violence. It's really like to show the effect of violence. What the effect would have on people. How if either they're going to embrace it or deny it. And this is just something I witnessed and saw in the military. With people. I mean, there's so many military programs that you'll see that too. It's just there's some people that yes, they can just totally embrace the violence, and other people that it affects them, it shocks them. Now and that's a lot of that's just like the violence is at a distance. You're shooting at people. Try putting the violence up in your face. You have to actually engage somebody. So for the fighting, I would bring in people to train. This year zero group. And by the way, 0-0 means that it's not going to be on camera. We'll practice filming it. We'll practice different things, and especially in adding in the special effects for blood and injury. But otherwise, it's they're there to train. To see if we can make the concept work, and also they're going to be the people that are going to be interacted with, especially on the other world. And there'll also be just the characters that the stars for year one, the actors for year one are going to interact with. I would also open it up to actors around the world. Kids that say, hey, I would like to participate in this program, and they can send in videos or come audition. And if we picked them up, we would hopefully, if the TV shows get generating a profit, use that profit to support them. Put them in a either dormitory or hostel situation, and let them pursue this. But the other aspect about the acting is that these actors are going to grow. They're going to the character name will be the first name of the actor, for one thing, and that's just for simplicity's sake, because I would want a reality type filming, and just have digital cameras running. Put the filmer, the guys with cameras in whatever kind of jumpsuits, that way you can just edit them out. But otherwise, just you have cameras around, mics around, or mic the actors if you need to. But what the actors are saying to each other would be, just street language, what people say to each other. And I'd want them to develop their own street language, or their own, terminology in how they're interacting and what they're doing. I'd want it to evolve, as the show went on. So ideally, the show is going to be kind of like the same throughout, and yet always different, always changing. You're going to watch these actors, these characters grow. They're going to go from their freshman year on, to the senior year, they graduate, move on, whatever. But you're going to see them change. You're going to see them start out as nerds, for one thing, but nerds, social outcasts, dweebs, geeks, guys get picked on.